Okay, this is going to be a tutorial on how to do Lab 1, which is going to be interactive music loop editing. So we're going to start over here. When you open the session, it should look like this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick our song we're going to do, right? So I'm going to start this on the third song, West Coast, right? So instantly what we're going to do is we're going to save session as, open this up, let me slide this over here, and we're going to save it as AAMP, which is our normal file management naming convention. My first initials AK, in class lab 1, and then we're going to call this underscore West Coast because that's the name of the song that we're about to edit, if I could type it. Okay, so we're going to hit save. We want this to be in the same folder as our main overarching project here. When you turn this in, you should rename this folder, AAMP, AK, or whatever your initials are in class lab 1. But anyhow, so you'll have here a total of 4 sessions, the first one, and then the one for each song, right? So let's go ahead and hit save. As you can see, it's now the correct one. It's the correct name, right? So let's take our West Coast song. We're going to drop it in. In order to do this right, what we want to do is we're going to create a music loop that loops seamlessly, right? So you'll never hear when the loop happens. So the first thing we're going to do is come up here to the corner. There's this little arrow and then a waveform. That's going to be tab to transient. You want to turn that on. What this does is lets you go to anywhere in the waveform, and then when you hit the tab key, it'll go to the next transient or downbeat. This is really helpful for when you are trying to make these perfect loops. So let's go ahead and listen to it. Ooh, that is very loud. Okay, let me turn it down. All right. Try that again. Okay, so that's a good downbeat where that crash symbol happens. So let's go ahead and tab to transient. Perfect. So now we're on the start of this waveform, and we're going to hit Command E to cut it, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to count. We want this to be, the project says between 20 and 40-second loops, so what we should do is probably grab about 8 bars, right? So in order to do that, we're going to count it. So just let's count, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9. Okay, so right where we said 9, we're going to stop, tab to where 9 starts. So that's that downbeat right there where a crash happens. We're going to hit Command E, right? Now that we have that, we can zoom out, and we're going to select. So first we'll delete anything that's not used, right? So let's go ahead and delete that bit in the front and delete the bit at the end, okay? And then what we're going to do is, while this is here, we haven't set the tempo yet, so we're going to take our loop and we're going to drag it over to the start, right? You can do this, or you can just leave it where it is. I like to drag it to the start so that way we have the grid perfectly, set up. So what you're going to do is you're going to now hit Command I, and that should open up this little dialog box here. Let me see if I can. Nope, I can't make it any bigger. So basically, what you want to do is you want to name the start point and name the end point. So the start point is already 1 1, right? And if it's not, just change it so that it's 1 1 0 0 0, right? So that way, wherever this file starts is going to be where beat 1 is, right, of the grid. And then the end, we're going to change to be 9 1 0 0 0. Now, why 9? Well, we have an 8-bar loop, and 1 plus 8 is 9, so 9 bars. Or I'm sorry, 8 bars, 9th bar, 9 1 0 0 0. Okay, So we'll change that to 9 and hit OK. And so that should give us a grid that is perfectly tuned to our music. So if we go ahead over to Window now and open the transport window, where did that go? Here it is. Open the transport window. It says that our tune tempo is 99.9943, which it's 100. It's pretty close, but you know, perfect, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to option drag this waveform, and we're going to, you can go either into grid or shuffle. I'm going to recommend going into shuffle. Sometimes if you go into grid, it's not perfect. We can actually go ahead and see that it's not perfect. So if I zoom way in, you can see like a little bit off, but whatever, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go into shuffle mode, put these two files together, and now let's listen to where they meet. Okay, I didn't hear any clicks or any pops. There was no skip or jump in the beat anywhere. I think that's perfect. So I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do, and look at that. We're 38 seconds, so we're under 40 seconds. So that's perfect. Okay, and so now we're going to bounce mix. So if you go over to Pro Tools, bounce mix, we're going to file name it. It should just be whatever the name of the session is, but for some reason, if it's not, name it the name of the session. In class lab 1 _ west _ coast. Perfect. I want this as an interleaved stereo file, 16-bit, 44.1 kilohertz, and we're going to keep it in the session folder, bounced folders, right? So let's go ahead, make sure offline is ticked as well because online bouncing sucks. So let's go ahead and bounce. All right, that's done. And then let's take a look at it inside of our file folder. So we have our in-class lab, which mine says XXX, but it should have your initials. You'll have your 3 sessions, which will all have your initials in them. And then you have your audio files, obviously, and then you have your bounced files, which should be 3 stereo files, each one the name of the tune, you know, with our naming convention in the front. Once you're done with that, you're going to take it and compress it, and then turn in the compressed file on Canvas, and that should be it.